a lot of misconceptions over the years. I would say early on, one of the first ones that we got were so many people who would say, golden retrievers don't need rescuing, right? It's mutts and pit bulls and those kind of dogs. And people were shocked that these beautiful golden retrievers needed homes. And the fact of the matter is, the overpopulation of dogs in this country isn't just mutts and bully breed dogs. It extends to all dogs. And we do our best to work with shelters and other rescues in the area, to assist with this overpopulation of dogs, but we really do need the public's help. We've got to spay and neuter our pets. We have got to purchase pets from responsible, ethical breeders. We have got to adopt when we can, and we need to support the rescues and shelters that are trying so hard to get a handle on this epidemic. Another big misconception that we get over the years is that all dogs from breeders are bad, and that's just simply not true. We need ethical breed preservation breeders, because I don't want golden retrievers to go extinct, right? And so if we don't have these people furthering the breed, then we will lose the breed. However, not all breeders are created equal. As I've said many times, for every great breeder, there is just countless more that are terrible. And if you are interested in purchasing a puppy, please do your homework. Please find an ethical breed preservation breeder. And if you're unsure, get references, ask the community, ask your veterinarian, ask us. We've got to make sure we're going about this the right way. Another misconception that we get is people assume that we will think negatively towards families who need to surrender their dogs to us. I would say we get about half our dogs from owners surrendered. We get dogs from just heartbreaking situations, and we're so grateful that we're able to help these families. The last thing they need is to be figuring out how to care for a pet that they love dearly when dealing with something that is tragic and overwhelming. And for us to be able to look at them and say, we are going to take this animal that you love dearly, and we are going to love it dearly, and we are going to ensure that it finds a fantastic home that it deserves, is a gift that I'm grateful we were able to provide to the community. One of the most rewarding things, and maybe one of the most surprising things to me about being involved in this, is how, while it is about the dogs, it's so much more about the people. A week has not gone by since I became involved with Adopt a Gold in Knoxville that someone hasn't reached out because they've lost a pet and they're heartbroken and they're trying to find someone who understands that pain. And we are able to listen and help them move on by finding them another pet, and we're grateful to them. They chose to rescue a dog. So I would say the most rewarding parts for me personally, have been handing someone a dog. And in my case, as somebody who fosters a lot of our puppies from birth, sometimes handing a family a puppy and having them just weep with gratitude. There's no feeling. There's nothing better than completing a family. And so I think it was something that was very surprising to me, was that it's not just about the dogs, it's about the people. I've made the most meaningful relationships in my life I've made through dog rescue. My friends, my community. Personally, I do a lot of our fostering for our puppies from birth to adoption. And there is no feeling in the world like having somebody drop off a terrified, sick, pregnant mom and looking at her and saying, you know what, we're going to get through this. We're going to do this. I'm here. And I have become, I always say that I'm their wingman. And we get through it. And we get through the whelping process. And we get through the newborn phase process. And then we start getting the mom ready to wean and started finding a home for her. And from start to finish, it's usually 10, 12 weeks. And when I hand that last puppy to that last family, and that mom has been adopted and she'll never have to go through something like this again, it's just, wow. It is, without being too dramatic, I truly feel like that has been my purpose. It is something I'm very good at. It is something I enjoy doing. My daughter and I do it together. It is a very small piece of the rescue, the whelping and raising of the puppies. But it's important, and I take it very seriously. I also take it very seriously that Adopt-A-Go to Knoxville trusts me to be in charge of these just precious little babies. I had 9 last summer that were darling. That was my biggest golden retriever litter. And it was truly my honor that I was trusted to care for them. The number one question I get asked is, how do you give them up? How do you raise these dogs, specifically the puppies that are born literally into my hands, and find them homes? And I'm going to break that up into 2 parts. First is, by fostering through a rescue, our adopters go through a very vigorous vetting. They provide references. We do home visits. So I am knowing that these dogs that I have put my heart into are going to wonderful homes. We're not just giving puppies away. We have a vetting process. And so that certainly makes me sleep well at night. I know these dogs are not going to be left outside. I know they're not going to, not receive vet care. And I know that these people, these adopters, from going through the process, they take it very seriously. This isn't just, a win for them. They've put a lot into this. The first dog I fostered, I was 25 years old, and he was in horrific condition, basically a walking skeleton. And I immediately got attached. And I remember thinking, I want to adopt this dog. But the problem is, if we don't have people fostering these dogs, then they're just simply going to be euthanized. There has to be. And so I made the decision there that either way I'm crying, right? I'm either crying because this dog I love is going to a loving home, or I'm crying because no one picked that dog up at a shelter, and for no reason, no crime that he committed, he's going to be euthanized, simply because there's no one to take him. And after you begin fostering, you find the joy in it. It is a happy sad when they leave. Yeah. I word it a little bit when I have litters of puppies like being an elementary school teacher. I think teachers love their students dearly. I think they, for the school year, love them and protect them and care for them like they are their own children. But at the end of the school year, they're not going to keep them, right? They're going to move them on so that they can help the next group. And that's the way I feel. And anytime I do get a little sad when a group of puppies are leaving, or even a single dog that I'm fostering, I think, I'm allowing you to go to a different loving home, so this next one I don't even know yet I can help. And that's why we do it. And we are always, our biggest need is more fosters. We turn down dogs regularly that we would be able to help if we had more space. Adopt-A-Go to Knoxville doesn't have a facility. All our dogs are in private foster homes. Now, this is wonderful. This allows the dogs to get out of those stressful environments that we see in shelters and vet clinics and stuff like that, and really start to decompress. But additionally, it allows us to really understand these dogs. When you adopt a dog from a shelter, they're going to give you as much information as they possibly can, but there's going to be so many things they just don't know. We know that, for example, that Daisy and Rosie are going to wake me up at 6:30 every day, whether I like it or not, whether it's a weekend or not, to eat. We know that, so-and-so has a tendency to get food off the counter. We know that, You know, Baxter over there is scared of thunder and he gets worried when cars pull into the driveway. And all these tiny little details, they allow us to really help find a perfect match, you know, for home. Whereas when you go to a shelter, again, they're doing the best they can, they're doing wonderful work, but there's only so much information they are able to provide you. And by having these dogs in private foster homes, not only is it jump-starting the rehabilitation process, but it also, we are just constantly getting more and more information, and we're able to place them in a super appropriate home because of that information. We are always looking for more fosters, from itty-bitty puppies to sweet old seniors, from short-term, I mean sometimes just a weekend, to long-term. Some of our dogs that are going to have to go through some kind of treatment may need a place to stay for several months. We are always just desperate for more fosters. If it's something you think you'd be interested in, we have a foster application on our website. You go to adoptagoldenknoxville.org. In the top corner, there's a tab that's called Lend a Paw. You can go down. There's a variety of different volunteer opportunities. Fostering is a big one. Another volunteer opportunity that we just always are in more need of are application coordinators. These are the people that take in our applications, and they really form good relationships with our adopters. They get them approved, and then they help them find a family. And it's a really rewarding process. It's an interesting volunteer role because you can take on as much as you want. So if you want to do, you know, just a couple a year, if you don't have much time, great. But then a lot of our volunteers, they love it so much. They love helping these families. They'll take on multiple apps, and they love this job. And so while it doesn't work directly with the dogs, it works with these families, and it's just a huge need we have because, again, the quicker we can move these dogs, the more dogs we're able to take. And that is a problem that we sometimes have, you know, is if we get backed up in applications because we don't have enough volunteers to work the applications, then the whole system just kind of slows down, thus making it harder for us to take in new dogs. If you're watching this and you're thinking this is a great group, I just want to say that if you're interested in volunteering, you will be met with open arms. We are just a dedicated group of volunteers from just a million different backgrounds who have one thing in common. And what we have in common is we want to make the world a better place, and our way of doing it is by helping some of these dogs. And so if you are looking to be, if you're watching this and thinking this is something I want to be a part of, we welcome you. We look forward to meeting you. We try to do monthly meet and greets in the community. Come out and say hi to us. And if you are at a point in your life where you want to give a deserving dog a home, we would love to have you as an adopter. You can go to our website for more information. We also hope that people follow us on social media. Social media has become just a huge tool for rescues and shelters alike. We adopt out the majority of our dogs through social media. We get the majority of our donations through social media. So we would love to have you follow us. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Adopt a Golden Knoxville. And if you aren't local to Knoxville, we'd still love you to follow us, but we urge you to support your local rescues and shelters as well, because we're all on the same team here. I admire some of these dogs. I admire, and it's very much a golden trait, but it certainly is true with other dogs too. I have personally worked with and fostered dogs that have come from really terrible abuse situations where we know that they have been severely mistreated by humans. And I walk up to this dog that has no reason to trust me, no reason to even like me, and they wag their tail and they nudge your hand for a pet, and I just think, what the world would be like if we were a little bit more like dogs. They are so forgiving. They are so resilient. These dogs bounce back from situations that that you can't imagine. And they're kind and they're grateful, and they go on to live. You know, some dogs require more care than others, but many of them go on to live just completely normal, healthy lives because dogs are wonderful, because they forgive and they understand that just because there's, you know, one bad human did terrible things to them, most aren't that way. And there's something so beautiful in that. And I'm grateful for the dogs that have shown me that over the years. The resilience, the kindness, the forgiveness, their strength. We're so proud of them. We're so proud of some of the things they've overcome. And we really, another thing that over the years has just restored my faith in humanity is we've been able to get these dogs adopted. Some of them are not high value dogs, you know, they're old and they have behavior issues, and they're going to require a lot of long-term care. And there are people that look at that dog and say, yeah, it's not a perfect, purebred, healthy puppy, but you know what? That dog deserves a family, and I will do that. And every day it restores from the ugly I see from being a part of rescue. I see so much more beauty. And I'm so grateful. I'm thinking just in my head right now of 10 to 15 families that I know personally that have taken a dog that was really a project. And they've really gone above and beyond. They've gotten trainers. They've tried therapy. They've tried, you know, all these different things to give this dog a wonderful quality of life. And this is a dog that not too long before was somebody else's trash. And I'm so grateful for those people. I'm so grateful that the adopters that can look at a dog that isn't perfect and say, but this is the perfect dog for me. Sometimes people ask me if, as a golden retriever rescue, like, oh, well, do you think Goldens are better than other dogs? Of course not. I love all dogs. The people in our rescue love all dogs. Many of our volunteers have different breed of dogs. We take in about 65% purebred Goldens. So the rest are mixes, mutts. We take in a lot of labs, Great Pyrenees, doodles. Basically, whatever we will never say no to a purebred golden, and then as much other dogs as we can help, we try. We're trying to help those shelter dogs. We're trying to help those dogs that just really need our help. The ones with expensive vet bills and stuff like that. But Goldens are a wonderful breed. They're personally my favorite breed. I grew up with them, but I love their temperament. I love that they're happy. I love that they're playful. I love that they're intelligent. I really, that is a piece of it I really love. I love that we have this very good relationship. But we volunteer for Adopt a Golden Knoxville not because we think golden retrievers are superior. I've been asked that many times. But by allowing us to focus in on a breed, we know this breed really well. You know, I know golden retrievers really well. So when I have them come into my home, I know behaviors, I know health concerns, I know what to be looking for. I'm able to help them find really suitable families because I know this breed forwards and backwards. And that's the way many of our volunteers are. So it's not that we think golden retrievers are the most wonderful breed. I might think golden retrievers are the most wonderful breed personally, but obviously all dogs are deserving. But by us being so focused on this specific breed, we are able to really do our due diligence and understand the breed and their needs, and because all dogs are different. Golden Retriever might not be the right breed for you. They require regular grooming, exercise. They're more prone to arthritis and cancers. You might be a little dog person. But I would say as far as the pros to Golden Retrievers is they're wonderful family dogs. They're usually terrific with children. They're interesting in that with the right amount of exercise, they can be an apartment dog or they can be a farm dog. They're very happy-go-lucky. They're a great first-time dog because of their willingness to be trained. So they want to please. They don't. You don't need. They so badly want to please you that even if you're not really sure what you're doing, they're going to try really hard to learn what you're doing. So, so golden retrievers, just overall, they're a really great breed. They're great with active families and inactive families, and it's just it's a very versatile dog. They do shed a lot.
They do shed.
They do shed a lot.